This is a short video about how to make a woodblock print. It's by me, Catherine Owens. This is a woodblock print I made for a workshop at the Acton Library in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. It's based on the style of the Taring Padi, which is an Indonesian art collective that does a lot of political woodblock prints. The first step you need to do is get some supplies. I prefer to use McLean's printmaking for supplies, but of course you can use your local art store. You'll need several things to get started. This is newsprint. It's important to have around when you're doing an art project. This is ink. Relief ink by Caligo, Safe Wash Relief ink. It's my favorite ink to use. This is an ink knife or palette knife. These are brayers. Brayers are used to roll the ink onto the block. Here's an image that kind of shows that in action. You can see the palette and a palette knife. The ink's all clumped up here. What you'll do with the brayer is roll it over the ink until it's smooth and uniform and a thin, consistent layer, and then you roll that over the woodblock. These are Baron. This is a Hahn Baron and a disc Baron. These are flat discs that you use to rub the back of the piece of paper, transferring the ink from the block to the paper. This is Sheena plywood and Atagami backing paper. You put the backing paper between your paper you're printing on and the Baron to keep the Baron clean. I often use shop towels for cleanup. Carving tools are essential to this project. There are lots of carving tools out there of many different shapes and sizes. I've accumulated a lot over the last 20 years, but that said, a basic set from an art supply store is sufficient. It can be shared among a couple of people and will do just about everything you need to do. I've had my first set that I bought in 1993 for a long time, and I've sharpened it a couple of times, but for the most part, I still use it. This is Inryu or Cloud Dragon paper. Now it's time to draw an image. In this case, I am using words on the image, so it's important that you write those backwards because the print you will make will be a reflection of this block. So the best way to make sure you're on track is to draw it on the board and then hold that board up to a mirror and see if it's all your S's and E's are pointing the right way. Then it's time to carve away the areas that you want to stay white or create patterns, and then leave the areas that you want to remain black. But of course in this example I'm talking about using black ink on white paper. It's time to carve. So you can see I'm using a thinner tool to make these sort of pattern lines. I'm using this thicker tool to pull away whole areas that I want to be without ink. To make sharp, crisp lines around these areas like the leaves or the letter, I use a flat knife and go around every edge and then take the wood out so that it has that really crisp edge. And now it's done. It's time to roll the ink onto the block with the brayer and the palette. Here I'm using tissue paper. You can see the glue dots on the tissue paper because I want to add color to this print. You place the paper carefully on the block. Then put the Atagami paper down. Use the Baron to rub the back of the paper and make sure it's as uniform as possible that you cover every area. And then finally you remove the paper from the block. And voila, you have a print. In this case, for this particular workshop, the idea was that the students would fill in that blank area with something that was important to them. I believe, in whatever you believe in. So you can use watercolors, for example, to add to the print. And here's another example from that workshop where we've added a message. The purple flowers, the blue stars are tissue paper, and then there's painting in the center. But there's no end to the kind of images you can create with woodblock printmaking. Here's an example of a little bee and a larger block that talks about pesticide use. Thank you.